How's it going? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today I'm going to be talking about everything I saw in August. Now, August actually panned out to be kind of a short month. I only saw 3 movies, and that's not too much for me. So, without further ado, let's talk about them. The first movie I saw was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is based on a series of kids' books, and they were known for being legitimately scary, but they were still kids' books. So when they adapted them, they have kind of a weird choice, like we want to make them scary, but we don't want to make it where, kids can't go see it. So they did a PG-13 horror movie, which hardly ever really pans out, but this is one of the few exceptions. They really, instead of just saying, oh, we can't do an R rating, we can't do this stuff, a lot of people just have the action take place off camera. It's like, the famous shot of Venom biting a guy's head off, but then the camera pans away really quick so you don't see it. This movie, instead, they knew, like, blood and death on screen really... they knew the things that drove up the rating, and like, okay, that's how we get an R. So they found creative alternatives rather than just having bloodless deaths or things happening off screen. It'd be like, a character gets, pulled into the darkness, or instead of blood, if they get attacked by a scarecrow, maybe straw comes out. And it actually really worked for the most part. And it's good creative alternatives. Now, personally, I never got a chance to read these books as a kid. If I see them, I'll probably pick them up nowadays, but I never got to read it. And a lot of people like, oh, this should have been a vignette thing like Creepshow. And maybe it should, but I mean, I never read them, so all I can do is judge what I've seen, and it worked well enough. The story's not perfectly ironed out, and there's this weird subplot where... there's a whole bunch of, like, anti-Nixon stuff in this movie, because, it takes place way back in time, and it didn't really go anywhere. You found out it tied to one character's backstory, but they kind of, oddly focused on that, which is a little weird. And, yeah, there were a few things they could have done better, but overall, for taking a step to recalibrate PG-13, because right now PG-13 movies are just PG movies. It's an important step towards recalibrating the rating. Creature design was phenomenal, and it actually, it was made for younger audiences, but legitimately designed to scare them. And I thought it was pretty fun, and it did its job really well. I'm gonna go for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. 88.56. Very good. The next one I saw, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Not Unchained. I keep wanting to say Unchained because every other movie's Unchained. This one's Uncaged because they were in a cage the first movie. So, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. It's in Mexico still. It's a shark movie still, but that's really only the only connections to the first. They don't even reference the depth at all in this movie. Oh, and it's also about sisters. This time, stepsisters, and them and their friends find a back way into a sunken archaeological site that their father is working on. But unfortunately for them, when they go in through this back way, they accidentally discover that there are sharks that have been trapped in these underground ruins for thousands of years, and the sharks are bigger, but they're also blind, so it's a lot of sneaking and hiding, and also cool ruins and set pieces. This movie, the first one was essentially a trapped in a room movie, and really, small in scale. This one does the opposite. Everything's big in scale, loud and crazy. Now, what a lot of people are going to say is this movie's kind of dumb. And to be fair, it is. There's lots of silly and stupid parts of this movie, and a lot of people aren't really going to like it. personally, I love dumb movies, and in a campy way, this movie really succeeds. I know there's so many things wrong with this movie, and you can really easy go, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb, why'd they do that? Lots of, towards the end, really stupid slow motion scenes. But personally, I found the bad parts hilarious, and the parts that worked still worked. And I rate my movies based on enjoyment, not purely technical skill, and this was kind of a dumb, fun, over-the-top shark movie. So I'm going to give it an 82.94 for 47 Meters Down Uncaged. The next movie I saw, Ready or Not. So this is one that I hadn't heard too much about it going in. I saw a trailer for it, and I thought, well, that looks good, but I hadn't really heard too much, and I was thinking this might be a limited release or direct-to-video, but no, it came to the theaters, and I saw this, and I was like, that looks good. So it's about this family. They make board games, and they have this ritual. Their great descendant made a deal with a strange person, and he said, I will give your family success, but you have to take this box that's going to spit out a card, and every time someone marries into the family, they have to play a game. And out of all the cards, there's one bad card, and that's hide and seek. So if they get that one card, so it's not usually going to pop up about every 20 years or so, if they get that one card, the family has to kill them before sunrise, or they believe that they're going to die. And that's one of the things that this movie actually does really well, is you don't know if they're all being really superstitious or if there is magic involved. And it's kind of one of the mysteries up until the end. But this is a really fun movie. It reminded me a lot of You're Next, one of those movies where a normal person gets pushed and they find out they can be a really good fighter. So, yeah, it's really one of the better final girl type movies too. Because, you know, you see, there's usually a final girl in a slasher movie, and there's some classic ones, and between You're Next and this movie, it's kind of a reinventing of the concept, you know, to see someone really become a tough and interesting character. And overall, this is really fun, really well made. Not your standard slasher, but slasher fans should see it. Survival type movie. It's really good. Go watch it, horror fans. And I'm going to give Ready or Not a 92.88. Anyway, those are all the movies I saw this time. Up next, I'm actually going to do my first comic review. I read Stranger Things 6. This is about one of the other kids in the lab, and yeah, I've been wanting to review some comics for a while, so next time, first comic. Have a good day.